UCL Fantasy is back, and here are my plays to target for this upcoming game week in UCL Fantasy. Before we get into this plays to target video, please be sure to like and subscribe. The support does not go unnoticed. I am very close to 300 subscribers, so anything you can do to help me get to that goal will be greatly appreciated. Also, my mini league code for UCL Fantasy is in the description, but without any further delay, we'll get straight into this video, going through my plays to target. However, before we look at these differentials and these players who I think you should be targeting, we're going to go through the goal scoring and the clean sheet odds. Harry Kane leads the way with a 62% probability of scoring a goal in game week 3. He's followed closely by Osimhen, who is someone we're going to cover in this video. That is a spoiler, but yeah, he is someone who we're going to look at a bit later. João Pedro and Kylian Mbappe are at 55%. Then we have got Haaland at 54%. Then following him is Scamacca. That is a really rogue one, that. He is at 50%. We have also got Guirassy at 50%, and a few more elite players under that 50% mark, but they are still good picks nonetheless. All these odds have come from Fantasy Football Pundit. I'll leave a link to their website in the description. Moving on to the clean sheet odds, we've got Barcelona at 54%. They're at home to Olympiacos in game week 3. Following them is Athletic Bilbao. They're at home to Qarabag. So the two Spanish sides are leading the way for this clean sheet odds segment. Arsenal are always going to be on this list. They are, in my opinion, the best defence in the world. They have been in England for the past few seasons, and they are showing that on the European scale. They're at home to Atletico, around the 40% probability of keeping a clean sheet in that game. Then Chelsea and Bayern Munich follow them three to make up the top 5. Chelsea are at home to Ajax, Bayern Munich are at home to Club Brugge. If you have not got a defender from one of those teams already, I think it would be a good idea to get one in your team. Real Madrid are at the same mark as Newcastle at 40%, but it is important to note that Dean Huijsen is not in Real Madrid's squad to play this week in the UCL. So if you have got him in your teams, I would be looking to take him out. And there are a few more teams under that 40% mark with good odds for this upcoming game week. But we're going to move past them, as I think the first 5-6 are the main ones you want to be looking at. Of course, you can only get 5 defenders and 2 goalkeepers in this game, so there's no point in looking at all the teams. But yeah, those are the odds for this upcoming game. Let me know what you think of them, if you agree with them or not, in the comments. They do really help me out quite a bit when picking my defenders and my forwards. But now we've got past that, we're going to move on to my plays to target, my differentials for this upcoming game week. We're going through 3 plays in this video: a defender, midfielder and a forward, all really low ownership and real value for money. And we'll begin with Di Lorenzo of Napoli, the defender, 5.5 million, and for some reason 0% ownership. That is really low for what I think is a really good play. He's definitely one who I'm thinking about myself. With Huijsen out for Real Madrid, Huijsen's in my team currently. I'm looking for options elsewhere, and Di Lorenzo is the number 1 on my target list at the minute. In my opinion, Napoli have by far the best games in the UCL out of any teams. Their games upcoming are really, really easy, so that does promote the use of any Napoli players. And Di Lorenzo, he does get forward, 71 career goal involvements from defence. That is a really good number, and he does seem to be nailed. He is a 90-minute man. The only game where he didn't get the full 90 was against Man City in the first game of the UCL, when he got a red card. Di Lorenzo's next 3 are PSV, Frankfurt and Qarabag, and Napoli being the best side in Italy, you expect them to win all 3 of those games and hopefully get a few clean sheets on the way, and hopefully as well Di Lorenzo gets a few goal involvements. That's what we want him to do. That bonus attacking threat is really promising, and at a really low ownership, 0%, as I said, really low. That isn't justified in my opinion, and he is a really good pick. Moving on to my midfielder, moving into England, is Anthony Gordon of Newcastle. The midfielder, 7 million price tag and 4% ownership, so a bit higher than Di Lorenzo, but very much still a differential. He's picked up 3 goals in the UCL already this season, getting 90 minutes in both of his games. Weirdly enough, he hasn't scored at all in the Premier League, but he's got 3 in the UCL, 2 of them being penalties, so he is on penalties. He scored 2 pens in game week 2, and he faces Benfica at home in game week 3. Again, Newcastle do have some really good fixtures upcoming. They've got through some hard games against Barcelona, and it starts to get a bit easier for all of them from now onwards. He is real good value for money as a differential. There are many elite midfielder picks in this fantasy football game. But Gordon goes against the majority, and I do think he is a really good pick, and that's why he is in this video. Now the final player I'm going to cover in this video is Osimhen of Galatasaray, the forward, and he is 7.5 million with an ownership at 2%. He is definitely a high risk, high reward type of player for this stage in the game. He is at risk of rotation. His minutes have been slightly hindered, I assume, through lack of fitness in recent games, but hopefully he's getting back to full fitness, and I have seen some positive reports on his availability for this upcoming game against Bodo Glimt. And overall, looking past that game week 3 game, their fixtures again are very good. I think any sort of Galatasaray player is definitely a good differential. Some great games upcoming in their next few games, and Osimhen is definitely a long-term pick in my opinion. You got your Kane, Haaland and Mbappe. Those are the best forward picks. They are very expensive, but they are definitely the best. But if you want to go for a cheaper option, Osimhen is the go-to in my opinion. He picked up an amazing 44 goal involvements in 41 games for Galatasaray last season, and he has scored already in the UCL. I believe it was a penalty against Liverpool. May not be a penalty, but he did score against Liverpool in game week 2. So that may prove that he is fixture proof. Whoever he plays, he has a great chance of getting a goal involvement and getting a big haul for our teams. But yeah, as I said, a really rogue pick, but I'm not too sure why he wouldn't be a good pick either. And his probability of scoring a goal in the next game week is really high. It is amongst the highest out of any forward and midfielder in Europe. And of course that promotes the use of Osimhen in this game. Now those are my differentials, and we've gone through the goal scoring odds and the clean sheet odds as well. And that does conclude today's video. If you have enjoyed, as I said, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to let me know. As I said earlier, my Millie code is in the description alongside my Twitter, where I do post more fantasy football content on UCL Fantasy, Premier League Fantasy and EFL Fantasy. And yeah, thank you for watching today's video and good luck in game week 3.